This video is one of a series of interest to walkers, wild swimmers, photographers and drone pilots. It provides the most detailed description available of the Watkin path. See links below for the other episodes and ideally start at episode 1. In this episode, our walk continues to the Gladstone Rock and then onto the Slate quarry. That will be the last of the relatively easy walking. Ahead of us in the middle is the Gladstone Rock. And in the distance, Arran. To the right of the large rock, you can see the start of the path to the south ridge. We'll head for the footbridge that crosses the winding Afon Cwm. Slate fencing encloses an area of land. Maybe this is the Llan in the name of the building ahead, Plas Cwm. At the time of today's visit, the National Trust are employing a conservation shepherd. The notice explains why, and this trial will probably have finished by the time you visit. Here's the shepherd heading news. He's appeared in the BBC's Yolo's Snowdonia and also in the Channel 5 Wild Britain episode 1. Some nice slate fencing here. Since making this movie, it's no longer possible to access the ruin. This is where the Slate quarry manager lived. One of the managers was a Devon man named Alan Cyril, and one of the reasons he gave when leaving for a new position was the lack of weatherproofing of his house. On the sidewall you can see bullet holes from when troops used the ruin for target practice in preparation for the Dunkirk invasion during World War II. The Gladstone Rock and its plaque is now ahead, but first let's look at the boggy area behind the rock. The plaque on the rock commemorates the speech given by Prime Minister Gladstone upon the opening of the path built by industrialist and Liberal MP Edward Watkin from the Slate quarry almost to the summit. Prime Minister Gladstone addressed between 1,500 and 2,500 people, and afterwards the only ones who reached the summit were two ladies. It was the first designated footpath in Britain. The plaque reads, September 13, 1892. Upon this rock, the Right Honourable W.E. Gladstone, MP, when Prime Minister for the fourth time and 83 years old, addressed the people of Eryri upon justice for Wales. The multitude sang Cymric hymns and the land of my fathers. Publicly dedicated by Sir Edward and Lady Watkin, June 1893. The helicopter we saw earlier continues to transport helibags to the path over the boggy ground approach to South Ridge Col. Aran on the left, then South Ridge Col, and then barracks for the slate quarry workers. These feral goats were on another part of the mountain, but you can also see them here if you're lucky. This is where we start the long and steep ascent to Bulk Cilliau. But before we do that, we'll explore the slate quarry and maybe have a short rest. The South Snowdon slate quarry is also known as the Viewpoint slate quarry. It officially closed when abandoned in 1889, and the tramway track was lifted in 1913. There were some unsuccessful small-scale attempts to revitalise it. Although the quarry was the biggest producer in the Betws-y-Coed area, it was never really financially viable. One Victorian lady said that she had a new hobby, pouring money into homes in Wales. These are the smithy and workshops for the quarry. The weather was often extreme, and in January 1894, the blacksmith's anvil and the roof of the forge were blown away. When looked at from a distance, you can clearly see the terracing. When you're on the Watkin path, this isn't obvious. There is the path at bottom right, curving around towards the barracks. The path is briefly seen between the barracks and the slate heap. And some walkers are starting their ascent. The quarry pits can present a hazard for lambs. They sometimes fall into them, and the shepherd and the dog have to be lowered down to retrieve them. There's enough grass down there to feed them for at least a week. The area around the pits is boggy with plenty of cotton grass, sundew and bog asphodel there. That square arrangement of slate was apparently around a shaft that led down to an adit. In this view, the tramway is top right. Afon Cwm Llan is beneath it. The path starts at top centre and snakes around in front of the slate tip by the barracks before starting its steep climb. Slate tips and pits are in the foreground. The walking path proper is before us, and in the next episode we'll make the ascent to the pass, or bulk.